Well, welcome back for another episode of Penny's Hot Run Customs. This old Derek again. Today we are going to work on the 7 horsepower Stickney hit and miss engine. Last time we did the cam box and governor. Today we're going to do the fuel system. Well, actually I was working on my mom's truck and I had to take a break from it. Changing rocker panels, and it's not a hard job. It's just laying on the ground. So, got a couple hours to kill, so I'll work on my Stickney engine. This is the factory fuel tank, and it's over 100 years old and it's actually not bad shape. And this is actually another fairly rare piece, is a factory gas cap for the Stickney engine. So, and then after you just fill fuel, and then it just siphons down into the carb. That's all the factory piping. So, there's not much work to do on the tank except clean it out, but today we'll be on the carburetor and the mixing chamber. And this is when you start it, your hot and cold choke. There's like a little butterfly in there, but we'll get to that after. Like I said, the fuel comes from the top here down into here. This is like a settlement bowl here. This is actually another fairly nice piece too. That's I'm not going to call it rare, but most of the time, especially in the winter, or you get water out of the gas, comes down to the sediment bowl, and then it freezes at night time and split these open. I've seen quite a few of them split, but this one is not cracked yet, so it's actually a bonus. So, but that's and then when you get water in there, or to drain the gas, you just open up the petcock and it comes out the bottom here. But here, this is the fuel mixture. You turn it on. That will kick apart, go through it, because there'll be, I think, a seal in there, and who knows what the needle's like for shape. And this is the fuel chamber. Basically, how this engine works is the gas comes through here. You set your mixture, and then there's a little button under here. To get it started, you pump it a couple times, you get fuel running through your hand, and then you start it, and then when this thing's running, there's vacuum that goes through the intake here, and it holds up in the chamber here, and then when everything's set to fire, it will suck this up, because the intake's open, and then shut it, and then that's how it sucks this fuel through here, down to the intake. You'll understand more of it when I get the engine running. You'll hear it go funk. But that's how it works. And this down here is your intake valve. That we have to make. I do not have an intake valve. I think I broke it somehow. No big deal. It's easy to fix. And like I say, this is your choke. I think that's wide open for cold. And then when you want to run it when it's cold, you turn it on to hot, and then bring cold air in. It just cuts it off in here. It's just a little butterfly valve in here. And that's the intake. But what we're going to do, take this all apart, because a lot of times it's just full of spider webs and crap in the chamber here. And yeah, we just clean it out. It's just a big hollow area. And take this guy apart. So I already started taking this apart. I figured, oh, this will be easy to take apart. Oh, right. Usually it's 1.25 wrench. I had to fight and fight and fight, and I finally got it going. But, or sorry, 1.1/8. But it's still tight, which is good. So I was more worried of hoping I didn't break it, but yeah, didn't break it. So I'll set that, and then oh, we'll take that off. I'll show you guys what that looks like. And then I thought, oh yeah, I'll take this apart, because I put the bottom like under here, but you can see the screws, they're breaking, you can see. So I'll see if I can weld a nut. I'll show you. It will weld a nut on it and see if we can back them out. If not, I'll grind it down, grind it flush, and then pull the cap off, and then we'll have to work out every screw. And this is the first time I've taken a couple of these apart, and I've never had to problem where they were breaking on me, but I don't think this engine's ever been apart except for me. So, alright, I'll get some stuff set up and we'll start pulling this guy apart. Okay, like I said, I broken this loose just because it was tough, so it's still fairly tough, which is good. You don't want air to escape in there. Okay, and that's what the bottom of the carburetor looks like. This is what, I said, that button on the bottom of the mixture chamber. Oh, I can tell you one thing in a minute. That's what presses the, this part, presses this part, and that's what allows fuel to get into the air chamber here, or fuel chamber. So we'll take that apart. And like I said, I'm having problems on snapping these. So we'll see how that's gonna work. And I knew Christopher dropped some a bag of M&Ms in here, which you can see right here. And I had a friendly old mouse that must have went in here and started storing food in here. But lucky I put up a couple mouse traps and I've caught a couple of mice. So, but it just shows you when you have this stuff open and people snack around, and you don't eat it and just leave it. They gather it and put it in some hole. So we have some M&Ms in here apparently. Well, the chocolate will kill it too. So that just shows you. Oh yeah, no, I've got a fairly good screwdriver here. Let's give it, I don't want to go. Oh, no. I'll give it another little tap. No. I'll find a nut to put on here, maybe weld, and we'll see if we can undo them. I got that set up, and I'll find, yeah. Just wait. This is just a good example, but I'll find whatever the right size. I'll just use a nut like this. Weld on the head down there, down here. Let it cool, and then see if I can back it off with a wrench, and hopefully I can pull the screws out. So what I'll do is I'll weld one up, and then I'll bring it back over here, and you guys can see if it's going to work or not. Alright, I just quickly welded a nut on it. You gotta carefully make sure you don't weld to this. You just want to weld to the screw head. So this is hot, so I'll just give it a couple of taps. Put a 3/4 wrench. Oh. There you go. Usually this works for me. I can't touch that, it's hot. I'm going to say about 98% of the time this works. Just weld it. But the trick is you don't want to weld to this. Or you can find, if you're worried about welding to that, find the right size washer. Well, I need a little bit bigger, but put it on beside it. Well, here, I'll get the right size washer. If I have one. Yeah, if you're worried, you can just put that there, so that way you don't weld to this part. Just strictly to the screw, and then come out. So what I'll do, I'll go, I'm not even going to fight with these. I'll just take a picture of a few what screws for type of profile. See if I can find the right screw. Or I might have to make some screws. We'll find out. But I'll come and weld these, and I'll bring you guys back, and you guys can watch me take them off. Okay, you can see I got them all welded up. good enough. You don't have to go all fancy, so. And hopefully I don't break any. That's the plan. Oh, that one's going to come out. Screws are not very, I don't call them very strong, like a bolt or something like that. So, like I say, these things have been in for almost 120 some years. I don't expect it to come apart easily. Another one. I'm pretty sure if I would have heated them up, I probably could have took them out too. But when I started snapping the heads, I was like, forget it. If I could take an impact. But you can see they are a bit of rust in there. The threads will be fine. This one will probably fight with me. There we go. Like I say, when you do find the crappy nuts. Don't use your good premium nuts because you're just wrecking them. So. I've got tough fingers. They've been burnt so many times. Doesn't matter. All right. There we go. Hey, that's the bottom coming out. Maybe. Hopefully. Fighting me a little bit here. Usually they just fall out. What I'll do is I'll go find my camera. I mean a camera, sorry. My flashlight and see what's going on in there, and then I'll show you when I take this out. Well, you're going to find this kind of funny. And we're going to blame this one on Christopher. If you can see, look at how many M&Ms are shoved in there. And there's some sort of cotton. Who knows? And this carburetor's only been in here for about a year, so it just shows you. So I'm pushing some chocolate out, but I thought I would show you guys just so you can believe what I'm saying. But I'm gonna put some gloves on now and see if I can get this out, and I'll show you guys again. I'll put my glove back on there. Okay, I just tapped it and it just come out here. I'll move it back. Well, there's a little bit of fuzz there. So this is, I'll get back to that when we take this stuff all apart in a minute. Oh, there's a whole freaking nest in there. Oh, damn mouse. You can see. And that, oh wow, at least it didn't do any damage. That's the big thing. Didn't do any. I don't think it did any damage, but you can see. I'll throw that right in the stove and get rid of it. I don't need that stuff around here. So, I thought I would just show you guys that. So, things that happen. That's what happens. You leave these stuff outside a mouse, you're going to make a home. So, no big deal. Yeah, I finally cleaned it all out. Now how much was shoved in there, so I'll get rid of that. I gotta go clean my hand good after this. But this is the part that goes in the canister. It's almost like that goes in the air chamber here, or fuel air chamber, I should say. And it's kind of a lapped in straight valve on the top here, and that's closed. And then when you manually pump, get some air in when you start it, you just push that lever down a couple times, and then it pushes the top of this, and then that allows fuel to trickle down into the chamber, and then the intake sucks it and sucks it through the runner here and then into the cylinder, and boom, there it goes. So that's what's inside. Everything looks pretty good. We'll take it apart and just clean the flat surface here. I don't know, this one's actually looking pretty good. We'll give it a good clean up. I gotta get rid of this crap, it stinks. So, and then we'll take that part of the carburetor apart. Alright, you can see I got this off of the air chamber, or fuel chamber. And that's off, and then I undid the piping from here. The reason why I'm taking a lot of this stuff apart, who knows if there was gas in this when it stopped running or whatever, but there's all crap that builds up in these pipes, and you don't want to put fresh gas and have all that junk washing through your system. And it doesn't take much to plug a hole in these. So this is your fuel mixture idle screw, or fuel mixture screw. I think just like a 30-degree taper. This looks like someone might have used grinder. I'm not too sure. We may cut a new end on that. And then I think shouldn't be doing this, but here should be a rubber seal in here, or a leather seal. Oh yeah, graphite seal. We'll put a new one in there, because that's what, when you tighten that up, that's what rides on here to keep this tight, so that way no air gets in between here, because then that'll screw up your fuel air mixture. And that's broken loose. And all this is just like I say, that fuel valve thing, and just the fuel gets in there, and that's it. That's the carburetor right here. It's a very simple carburetor. There's not much to it. There's just a fine little hole in there, and that's where the needle, there's a sheet in here, and that's where the needle tapers in it. That's when it's right here, and it keeps it shut, and then you open it up, and it allows a bit of fuel, and then your air mixture. So that's all it is. So for sure we're going to redo this. That I'd like to put a new, maybe fix that thread up too. Get some graphite, figure out which size that is. Take this guy apart and just clean all the piping out and put it back together. Because I don't see any cracks. This is actually in fairly nice shape, and that's original. So there's the number. And then that's it for the carburetor. So it's a fairly easy job to do. And this is the oiling. That's how you put your oil in there, and there's your cap. Might have to make a couple of those, but very simple. And the valve goes through there. Okay, now I'll get some stuff cleaned up, and then maybe clean it up and then put it back together. Okay, I got the nut broke loose. I just tightened this end in the vise to hold this, and if screw that, well, I might have to do it again. Hard to do things on hand. There we go. Just like that. Took the nut off, put it there, and then loosen it, and then tap it out. Hopefully that. Oh, probably gonna fight me. There we go. I got it out. Alright. Now, I can do it without dropping it. There we go. Alright, so what I'll do, this is just a lapping tape over here. I'll take that, it's got a bit of wear in it, might make one of these, we'll see. This, you want a perfect seal because that's what holds the fuel back when this is open. When that button's pushed in, that's what opens up and hits the other part and then fuel. And this is all just air mixture. So you want a good flat surface there. This will be a little trickier because there's a centerpiece here. But I'm just showing you guys. I got to do this, change the paper later. But just circular motion. Do that, and you can see how I freshened up the new face on here. And then with this having a center here, it's a little trickier. You're just working off the side like this. So, but at least you guys get to see how it's kind of done. So, this I don't know. I haven't decided. There is a bit of wear in here. I don't know how critical it is, but I don't know. I like to try to leave much of this engine original as possible, even though I'm getting a bit of paint on it. But who knows? Alright, I decided I'm going to make a new idle mixture screw. Just the fact is, when this is tight, there's supposed to be graphite that goes around and seals here, so that way no outside air comes in. Well, the problem is it's rusted here pretty bad, and that's where it seals it here. So it just doesn't matter how tight you put your graphite there and tight it down to the body, it's always going to leak right here. So I can make it out of a piece of stock material and just rethread 5/16 National Fine, or if you have a bolt. And it ends up in this one, the bolt has the right amount of threads on it, so I'm just going to use a bolt. We'll take this apart. I think there might be a little soldered or pressed in, and take this apart, and we'll make this bolt into that idle mixture screw. And then at least that way, when the new one's done, once I get my new graphite in there, it will seal 100% right here, and there will be no air getting through. So easiest way I can fix this one. Like I said, I can make out a piece of stock, but this has already got fine thread on it, so may as well use it. Hey, I guess we'll go over to the lathe. Okay, I'll throw the bolt in the chuck, and I just want to take the head off of there, because I might need half of this just for the length. See? So what I'll do is I'll put this in here on my right chuck, give it a good snug. Okay, and then also I just put this in the vise. I just made sure it wasn't soldered, and I just tapped it out with a pin punch. So, and it came out. This was just size to size, no problem. Sometimes these are soldered in. Oh, if you gotta just heat it up with a little Tigger torch or something, and melt the solder off, and then punch it out. But that's all I do. We'll reuse this. I'll put a square back in this one, and try to make it look like original as possible. I got my safety glasses on, and now we're just going to try to do this right down to the same size of what 5/16. So. Yeah, I turn that down So now I've determined this is a 30-degree angle. So what I'll do is first cut whatever this is. Can't remember. I'll get my caliper. Measure that. We'll do that cut down to that size, and then I'll turn my tool post to a 30-degree angle and feed it in and out. And all we're going to do is just copy everything what this looks like to this. Alright. Anyway, I got my compound set up at 30 degrees. That's what I figure it is 30 degrees. So, and all I do is just keep running it back and forth till I'm happy. I got my length what I wanted here, just about like that. So, just keep on copying it. Just take your time. Anyway, I got everything all cut what I wanted. I put a nice square in here. I just put it on the dividing head on the mill and give my 4 corners. It's just a little loose. It's no big deal. You can see there's a couple of no big deal. I'm going to solder it in. It originally had a little bit of solder, so I'll just get lazy, put some solder. Oop. That there. Put this guy. Make sure you put it the right way you want it. And then just... I'm not no soldering expert, so... all I know, you just heat it up and put some solder in it, and there you go. Well, I couldn't solder it. It just wasn't sticking, so I just quickly brazed it. It's not the prettiest job, but it's in there. It's not going anywhere, so I'm happy with that. I used a marker just to see if it's sheeting inside this new one in here. 100% happy with it, so that's good. Like another way you can just quickly see is just no air leaks through when I do that, so that's fine. So that's 100% done. This guy, part of the fuel check, I call it like a check valve. This is done. It worked good. There's nothing wrong with that. I believe this guy, I think I spent a little bit of time lapping. All I'm going to do is put this back on. I'll put a little bit of lapping compound in here and just work back and forth. Call it good. I think it's just about perfect as it is already. So, but just so I don't have anything to worry about. And clean the lines out. Make no big deal. Just get a brush, clean them out, and call that good. Get the petcock working. Your drain plug. And then that's it for the carburetor, but I think I'm going to probably leave the video as this, just on the carburetor. It's nothing exciting, but at least people can see what's inside of a Stickney carburetor. This is basically the for them from a horse and a half all the way up to 20 horse Stickneys. So just sizes. I think the 5 horse is a little bit smaller, and I think the 1.5, 3 and 5 are the same. I know that. This is 7 and 10 are the same, and it just gets bigger and smaller. So, but all I got to do is this, is just basically just take it apart again. I'm not going to do anything here. Just clean this up, paint it. I got new old screws. I just got to pick up in Stony and make a valve, but that'll be another day's job. So I'll just give it a good clean and put it back together, and that's it. It's done. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video seeing a Stickney's carburetor. So oh well, thanks for watching.